Thank you for
You're welcome.
taking the time to interview with me. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your history. First off, where were you born?
Mexico,
What city in Mexico?
Guadalajara.
Oh, and what year were you born?
What year? 57.
57. Okay. Now, you grew up there with your family.
Yes.
Describe your family. Your parents, your siblings.
Well, it was a huge family, 17 of us.
Oof.
It was hard because my dad was the only one that was working for a while.
And what kind of work did he do?
He was working in the farm all the time.
So
Yeah.
a lot of farming in Mexico.
Well, he emigrated up to the USA when I was little.
Oh, so
And
you were kind of raised
he
in.
spent like 30 some years over here.
Okay. And did he come with your mom?
No, just him,
Just him.
just by himself.
Okay. And so he worked farming here in.
He worked in different areas like the farm, the
In Southern California?
in California, Chicago, New York.
Wow.
He went but mostly it was farm, farm work, work.
Okay. And so your mom stayed and raised
17 kids,
17 children.
17 children.
Oh, I'm impressed. Okay. What was the town like that you left? What was that life like? Because you were little. How old were you when you?
I lived there until I was 20 years old,
In Mexico.
Mexico.
Oh, you did. Okay.
And
And then your dad was here working, but you were there with your mom.
I was there with my mom.
Okay.
I was going to school. I wanted to be a doctor, but for some reason I didn't get there, to be a doctor.
And what level of schooling did you get to?
To high school.
And so you knew about America from your father,
From my father.
and did he tell you stories?
Yes.
And what made you want to come here? What was?
I didn't come over here because I wanted to. It's because he got hurt.
Oh, what happened?
He fell off of a truck,
Oh.
while he was working, and they want to have back surgery on him. And one of my friends, he says, no, don't, the technology is not there yet. So just have him, go through physical therapy, and he'll get better than having, his spinal cords,
Right.
trying to put together.
Right.
So I didn't let the hospital do that.
So you took care of him,
I
and you
took
got
care
a
of him.
job.
And after 6 months, so I had to let the school go over there and start working
Wow.
because we were short on money all the time, because my dad was not working.
So you worked, and did you send money to your family?
Every week.
And then what was your idea of America? What did you think of it when you first?
Well,
came?
different people tell you different stories. And to me, I was kind of confused. And I didn't want to come because I wanted to stay there. But just because my dad got hurt, that's the reason I'm here. And after a year, school told me, hey, your place is gone. Somebody else took your place.
Mm.
So I said, okay, if I'm not going back to medicine because I want to study medicine. So I decided to try it out for a while here. I've been very blessed on the jobs that I've been getting that I had in the past.
Now, when you came here, what kind of work did you do? Did you go into farming first?
No.
Or did you?
No, I was actually when I got here the second week, landscaper guy offered me a job. Hey, what are you doing standing there every morning? Come and work for me. So sure, if you give me work, I'll come and work for you.
And then how long did you work for him?
I worked for about 2 years maybe
Really? And then where were you at the time?
in San Pablo, California.
San Paulo. Okay. And so was your dad still here, or did he go back home?
No, he was here.
Oh, he was still here. Okay.
Yeah.
And so do you guys live together?
We lived together for a while.
And how long did he stay here for?
He was in and out of the hospital for about 2 years,
Oh, wow.
and then after 2 years he went back,
Okay.
and I stayed. Somebody had to support the family.
Yes. And how did you have any other relatives here, or is it?
Yes, an older brother.
Okay.
He was married with 2 children
And where
and a
did he
wife.
live? Where did he live?
He was living right there in São Paulo, and he was working for a candy company.
Okay.
Candy company.
And then when you arrived, did you speak English?
Very little.
Did you learn that in school?
I'm still learning.
You speak really well. Come on.
Still learning. I try to go to school, but for some reason, I always have to, drop out and work.
But did you have the opportunity to go to school? Was it paid for?
Yeah, I had, a couple chances to go to school,
Okay.
but just because family needs,
Right. Right.
you know my story. I always had to pay for medical bills, and
So when you came here initially, what was you said, okay, I'm going to stay. What were your dreams? Did you have any personal dreams? Did you have any goals that you?
my goal was, okay, work hard for the first, year or two, and then go back. But everything, started developing, in my favor, and things were coming my way.
Like what? Tell me. You
And
had
I started
opportunities?
getting, the opportunities were just knocking on my door.
Job opportunities?
Job opportunities, I could have gone to school, but fortunately, I didn't go.
And who were the ones, what kind of people were giving you opportunities? Who were they?
The first guy was a German guy. When I started working for this guy, he was my manager, and he said, his words, "You too damn smart. You're not deserved to be here. I'm gonna get you a new job. But if you don't get a new job, I'm gonna fire you. This coming June, you're out." So he connected me with some other people, and I started working, building tanks, fighting vehicles
Wow.
for the army.
And then how long did you do that for?
Almost 15 years.
Really?
Yes,
And
almost.
did you like it?
It was a challenge, because you had to start from the bottom, as usual. Start from the bottom. I started as a group 1, sweeping and doing, just maintenance stuff. But I was always watching, the guys. And one guy told me, says, just watch what they're doing and you'll move up. So I was watching them. Some of the guys even called me brown nose, because I was over there watching. I didn't care,
You got promoted?
I got promoted.
How many times?
When I started it, I started as a group one. 3 months later, I was a group 3. Like a year later, I was a group 6. After that, and like a month later, I was group 8. And I got up to the highest, 12. That was 12, level 12,
Wow.
group 12. From there, you jump into management. But I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to deal with people that I was working around. Too many lazy people. And that's not me.
So was it hard to live on the amount of money you made? Or was it okay?
It was okay. It was actually, I was making pretty good money. Yeah, enough to support myself here and support my family in Mexico. Yeah.
And you had an apartment with your dad at that time? Or
Yes.
did you- Okay.
I had an apartment.
Now, when you were working here, did you feel accepted by Americans?
Well, there was people that, they were welcoming, you into the system, and some other people kind of push you away. They didn't want you to be around them because they felt like, okay, this guy is a challenge, for me. So
He's threatening to my job.
I was
Is that what you
rejected
mean?
in some areas. I was rejected, because my English was very short, very limited, but that made me, work harder and learn more
Right.
on my own. This guy told me, the landscaper guy told me, this is the radio the station that I'm gonna put on your radio, on your car. Don't ever change it. 7:40. It was AM. 740 KCBS or something like that. And that's a station that has been on my radio since back then.
Now, who were the people that you felt like you were kind of discriminated against, or
Mostly was the people that was not well educated, because the people that I felt or I see that they were prepared and educated, they were always on my side. Just Daniel, just keep it up and you'll be successful.
And did you ever think, okay, so you got opportunities, you definitely had mobility with the Army.
Mm-hmm.
What made you get out of that field? What would you switch to?
Oh, they wanted to transfer me to Cincinnati, Ohio, and then they wanted me to travel to Kuwait. And some friends, Ziegler and Jim, they told me, Daniel, you don't want to go to Kuwait. You're going to be sick like us.
Mm.
And they were sick every day. So for some reason, they were always coughing and feeling dizzy, because they spent 6 months over there. And they told me, either you go to Cincinnati, you go to Kuwait, or you're going to have to quit. And I said, well, thank you very much. I think I learned a lot, in this place, and I have nothing but gratitude, towards, the people that I work for, and thank you very much. I'm leaving. And then I started working as a landscaper.
And have you been doing that since?
Since 1998.
Okay, so now you've had your own company. Did you ever try to expand your company, perhaps apply for a loan? Did you ever do anything like that?
Not really, because everything started, kind of falling in place, getting to know, great people, brilliant people that always, extend their hands to me and gave me their support, like you guys.
Anybody in particular that
Well, friends, some companies, companies that they offer me a job, to do landscape jobs, and they start recommending me to other people.
Right.
So it was word of mouth, just the way I increased, the size.
Now, how did you get from San Pablo to here? When did that transition happen? Was it after you quit?
No, because I lived there, and then I moved to Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Then I says, well, I don't want to be renting, the rest of my life. So I bought a house in Hayward, and that's where I met my first wife.
Mm-hmm.
Then we moved to Dublin. We bought a house in Dublin, brand new house. But things didn't work out, after a while. And I had different dreams.
What were those dreams?
My dream was to create a big company and move out of California and retire in Mexico. And she says, well, that's not my dreams, I think you better go your way, I'll go my way. So we went different ways.
Now, do you still have that dream, or has that dream changed?
My dream is to have a base, where I can, some savings, some sort of finance, savings or base where I can retire, go back home. I love to work here because people, they have been really great to me. But my plan is to return to my hometown. As a matter of fact, I have a property there.
And so, have you heard the expression, the American dream?
Yes, a lot of people talks about that. I never had that dream though.
What do you think the American dream is?
Well, the American dream is, people, to me, what I heard, based on what I heard, people talking is have a nice car, have a nice house, live comfortable, but some people do, make it, to that level, and some people just stay down there. It's just because they don't work hard or they make mistakes. They
But
get
do you
into
think-
drugs.
Do you think the opportunities are there to be successful?
Yes, yes, the opportunities are bunch of opportunities out there. You just gotta work for them, look for them and work for them and try to grab what is out there, available for you.
And what would you say would have been the largest obstacle that would have gotten in your way in your life? What would that have been for you?
I never ran into any obstacles.
No?
Doors were always open for me. Everywhere I look at it, there was always a door open for me.
Just because you're so nice.
If I wanted to get, into the industry of cars, I had opportunity.
Was it your connection with people that gave you that opportunity, or was it that one door opened to another, do you think?
People that I met, they were always offering me an opportunity to go, and then start something else and leave what I was doing at that particular time. They were saying, "Hey, why don't you start this, or why don't you go together, and why don't we go together and build something else?" And I had my chances, but I don't know. Illness in the family. I had some illness myself, personally, and I had broken legs, and there were kind of obstacles for me when I had broken legs, and my mom was sick, my dad was sick, so that kind of held me up a little bit to be more successful and jump into something else. But I'm grateful, and I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy.
Okay, so now you're working in the landscape business, and you've been in this business for quite some time. Like you said, 1998.
1998.
Do you think you're paid competitively in the market for where you are right now?
Well, there's some people they're conscious about the kind of type of work that you do, the quality of work that you do, the pride that you put into it, and they don't mind paying you. But there's some people that they're kind of selfish, and they don't want to pay for what they get. And I think I offer pretty good quality of work. And some people, they kind of say, "Oh, I don't have money," and this and that. They kind of nag a little bit. So I just kind of lowered my prices a little bit. But I've been pretty good. A lot of people pays me well.
That's good. And okay, so now you have children. You have children. You have your older children are how old?
Alex and Cynthia, they're 26 and 29.
Did they go to college?
Yes,
And
both of them.
And are they living here, and do you think that they're successful in what they do?
Yes, my kids, they are. Yeah, one is in financial field, and that other one is on criminal justice.
Well, great.
Yeah, so they're doing well.
Do you think their success was tied to you being here?
Probably because they always watch me, the way I was working hard, and I try to give them some advice. Go to school, prepare yourself, get your diploma, and otherwise you're gonna be using shovels and picks out there, and you're gonna be earning minimum wages. So I was always with them. I was on top of them. Hey, you gotta learn. You gotta go to school. You gotta go to college. Alex went to USA San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
and then Cynthia went to Hayward Cal and San Diego State.
Good for her, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think college is the way to get to better opportunities?
I will
That's
say
how
so.
That's what you, okay, that's what I want to make sure I heard.
Yes. Not 100%, probably 60% of the people that goes to college, they're very successful. And the other 40% is people that like to get into business. They know the experience in areas, fields that they feel comfortable with, and And I know people that they didn't finish, their college, their university scholarship, and they're very successful.
Do you think your children would have had the same success growing up in Mexico where you were, or do you think it's better they had a better opportunity being here?
Well, it's a different opportunities, different cultures, different um, customs and all that, but in Mexico you can be successful if you have somebody that can guide you and support you financially, emotionally,
Right.
to tell you, hey, well, this is what you got to do to be successful. But like I said, I know people that they never went to school, and they did very well in their lives.
Right? Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
very smart people. Mm. But I think the opportunities are either USA or Mexico. We all have the same opportunities. We just gotta look for them and take advantage of them.
And do you think that your children, I know this is just your opinion, but do you think your children have achieved the American dream?
I think they're working on it, and they're working for it, and I'm pretty sure they'll be up there someday.
All right, so now I'm just going to ask you some general questions.
Okay.
And of course, it's your opinion. There's no right or wrong answer. And if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. Now, you've been here since you were 20.
20 years.
So you're a Mexican American now. How do you feel that you have done compared to other Mexican Americans in this country? Do you, just on who you know, if you were to compare yourself to who you know and what you know, how do you think you've done as far as it comes to the American dream? How do you feel like you've done compared to your...
I think I have done it very well compared to other people. I don't like drugs, and that's one of the major things that you can be successful, because you spend your time and your money on something else other than drugs and all that. But like I said, I'm very fortunate that I have experience in different fields and different jobs and different people, and I've been very blessed with all the people that I have met in the past.
Do you feel like, because it's the second time you've mentioned drugs, do you feel like, and I'm not saying it's unique to Mexican American community, we know that drugs are everywhere, but do you feel that is a big problem for the younger kids coming up? Do you see a lot of issues with drugs in the Mexican American communities?
The drugs is a big, major, problem in here and everywhere. Even if I go home, you can see. But as long as you don't get involved and they don't bother you. But I think there's a big, challenge everywhere, with the drugs, different kind of drugs.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more now.
Yeah.
How do you see that it diminishes opportunities in Mexico versus in America? Do you see that they're the same, or do you see that drugs create more of a problem in Mexico than they create here in the United States for Mexican Americans?
Well, here is different, totally different, because right here you can get help from different institutions, and you can get loans and all that. So you have more opportunities here. Technically, you have more opportunities right here to achieve your dreams than over there. Because over there, the government doesn't do much for you. The banks don't offer you loans if you want to go to school. Only the people that get scholarships or they have money, or their parents have money, they are the ones that they can move up and be successful.
Do you think? Okay, this again, you don't have to answer any of this, but do you think, in your opinion, that Mexican Mexican Americans are treated fairly in the United States? Especially when it comes to education and healthcare. Healthcare is another big issue, and work opportunities. Do you think that overall there's still discrimination, or do you think that there's still?
I think we're still suffering on discriminations in the majority of the places here in the USA. And that always going to stay there. Discrimination never gonna go away. Never is gonna go away. It's gonna stay there all the time. But there is.
And where do you see it specifically? If you can think of something, where do you think you see it most?
When you try to apply for higher jobs, higher paid jobs, and that's where you get discriminated. At school, if you want to go to school, the major schools, then they always put obstacles for you to continue, unless they see that you're really smart, and they'll open the door for you. But if they think that your grades are not so great, they don't let you go in. But discrimination has been a major stuff all the time, for years.
What about healthcare? Do you feel like, do you have healthcare?
Yes.
And is it good healthcare? Do you feel?
Well, when I was working for the Army and all that, I had the best, healthcare. And now you just buy just enough to go by.
Major medical.
Major medical stuff, But I think it's up to people. It's up to people, and there's help. If you need help, you can get it.
Now, have you applied? I don't know if. Have you applied to Obamacare?
No.
I don't know what the qualifications are because I just don't know.
Neither.
I just wonder. Okay. Okay. So now this is my second to last question, and I appreciate all the time you've given me and all your honesty. If you were to pick another ethnicity other than Mexican Americans, what ethnicity do you think has had a harder time achieving the American dream? And you don't have to pick one if you don't feel like you can think of one.
Other than the Mexican community and Mexican people, I would say African Americans. Between the African Americans and the Hispanic people, I think we're just about equal as far as getting discriminated and pushed back sometimes. I think so. That's my opinion.
No, and
That's my opinion.
the perfect opinion. It's your
that's
own.
my opinion. That's my honest opinion.
Okay, my last question. Are you happy?
Happy as far as living here in America?
No, just in your heart.
In my heart?
Yes.
I don't think I have ever met anybody happier than me. I am so happy. I'm so happy. Even if I have obstacles of people that don't answer to my good morning or good afternoon, that doesn't create any negatives impact on me. I think I'm the happiest man in the whole world.
That's what I see. So I thought.
Regardless of if I have money or I don't have money. I mean, money has a lot to do in your life, but sometimes I run into some areas where I say, "Wow, I need help." But no, I am happy. I am happy, totally happy. It's the time that I spend here, which has been many years. I've always been happy. Any place that I work for or people that I work for, rarely you run into people that mistreat you. But no, I've been very happy, very fortunate, along all these years that I've been here.
So, would you say that would be your American dream? Is this being happy versus money? Would that be anybody's American dream? Or do you still think the American dream would be about having is it more for Americans to think that it's more about the money, or do you think it's more about being happy?
A lot of people goes more of towards materialism instead of being, themselves personally. A lot of people care less about their health and their well-being, as long as they have cars and properties and all that. Not me, as long as I have enough to support my family and pay my bills, I'm good, towards me and towards people. I don't like to take advantage of people. I like to be as honest that I can be, and be grateful to people and to God for what I have. And if I can get a house, I'll be much happier than not being renting.
Right.
But I would love to get a house if I can. If not, I'm fine. I'm happy, totally happy.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So much. I
You're
appreciate
very
this.
welcome.